secular state. Do you think India is a secular state? How many of you agree that India is a secular state? Okay, so there should be any doubt in that. India is definitely a secular state. Now, what do you understand by a secular state? There are many constitutions across the world which call themselves to be a secular state. So, what is common when you talk of a secular state? Separation of religion from not the politics, religion from the state. So, politics is different, state is different. Any political party can do politics, but they are not state. So, therefore, separation of state from what is called as religion. Okay, now when you talk of a secular state, primarily you have to understand the most important thing when you talk of a secular state is the state does not identify itself with any particular religion, or the state will not have an official religion. Do you think that India has an official religion? Do you have an official language? We do not have an official language. Official language, I am talking about official language. Do you have an official language? Do you have a national language? Just think about it. Do you have a national language? Yes or no? Do you have an official language? Yes. Now try to understand, we do not have a national language. We only have what is called as an official language for the official communication and official purpose. But when you talk of a secular state, it is very, very important that the state does not have an official religion. The state does not identify itself with any religion. Rather, any secular state for that particular matter, the state respects all the religion equally. So when you talk of a secular state, it is not that the state is against the religion. The only thing is the state does not identify itself with any religion, and the state respects all the religion equally. That is the basic essence of what is called as secularism. This is true for all the countries who follow secularism, but however there is certain element of difference when it comes to secularism that is followed in Western countries and the secularism that is followed in India, which I will discuss in detail when I take up the preamble topic, but I wanted to give a basic essence of this. So the first thing that you have to understand is what, when I talk of secularism, the state does not identify itself with any religion. The state is non-religious in character. It does not own any particular religion, or it does not support any particular religion, or it does not discriminate between any religion. So this is general for all the countries, but however, the kind of secularism that we follow in India is little different from the secularism that is followed in the Western countries. Do you know what is the main difference between the secularism that is followed in India and the secularism that is followed in the Western countries? There is a complete separation between the state and the religion when it comes to the concept of secularism, or in other words, it is what is called as negative secularism. The state is completely divorced from religion. In India also, the state does not have any official religion, but the question is India as a state, is it completely divorced from religion? In India, it is not completely divorced from religion, or the state is not completely divorced, or there is no complete separation between state and religion. That means the state can involve in certain religious matters, which is not allowed in the Western countries. In the Western countries, strictly the state should not involve in any religious matters. Religion is completely a private matter. Religion is completely within the sphere of an individual. The state has nothing to do with that. But do you think it is same in case of India? Now, for example, recently there was a festival which is called as Kumbh Mela festival. Do you think in that there was a state involvement with regard to that? Was the state involved in that? Was the state providing some aid, financial aid in doing all those things, protection and all those things? But that thing cannot happen in the Western countries. There is complete separation of what is called as state and religion. Let me put another example. Say for example, do you think in India the state can give some donations to construct temples and all those things? Temples or be it mosques, has it happened in India? Is it possible? Or let me put it, so there was something which is called as, for the Muslim, there was something which is called as Hajj pilgrimage, and for the Hajj, which has been discontinued recently, but few years earlier, for the Hajj pilgrimage, the government was giving some subsidy, people who wanted to go for Hajj pilgrimage. Do you think that is possible in the Western countries? That is not possible in the Western countries, because religion is purely a personal matter. But although in case of India, try to understand, in case of India, that the state does not own any particular religion. The state does not identify itself with any religion, but there is no complete separation between state and religion. Whereas in case of the Western countries, there is complete separation between state and religion. That is why the kind of secularism that is followed in the Western countries is what is called as negative secularism. The state does not interfere in the matters of religion. But whereas in case of India, there is no complete separation, and the kind of secularism that is followed in India is also called as positive secularism. Now, why it is called as positive secularism? Because the state can positively make interventions in the matters of religion. So, can you just think of more examples where the state can positively make interventions? In fact, you'll have to understand the history as to why different kind of secularism is followed in different countries. It is because of the historical reasons. They also have tailor-made secularism. But one thing that is common in both the cases is the state does not have any official religion. The state does not discriminate on the basis of religion. But the difference in terms of secularism as to what is followed in Western countries and India, in Western countries they are negative, that means complete separation, but in India there is no complete separation. Because when the Constituent Assembly was drafting the constitution and subsequently when the constitution was to be implemented, the members of the Constituent Assembly thought, the founding fathers, complete separation is dangerous for our country. Now, why do you think complete separation may not work out in India? The complete separation may not work out in India because there is a lot of inter-religious problem, intra-religious problem. In fact, inter-religious discrimination, intra-religious discrimination were there in our country. What do you mean by inter-religious discrimination? Between different religions, the minorities were oppressed by the majorities. That issue was there in our country. And it is not only the inter-religious problem, but intra-religious also, because within the religion also upper caste was dominating the lower caste. In the name of religion, there was a lot of practices which would amount to violate the rights of the people. Say for example, untouchability was recognized as a practice within the Hindu religion. They accepted this as a religious practice. Child marriage was accepted as a religious practice within the religion. So therefore, in the name of religion, if the state is completely diverse from the religious affairs and practices, they thought that that would amount to violating the rights of the people. So therefore, the state cannot be mute spectator to the religious practices. And hence the state wanted to make interventions in the religious practices wherever it would amount to violation of the rights of the people. So therefore, the Constituent Assembly members thought that we cannot be a mute spectator and allow the religion, the people to take care of the religious affairs, but wherever it is important, we'll have to make an intervention positively. And therefore, the kind of secularism that we follow today is what is called as positive secularism. And whereas in the Western countries, they follow majorly what is called as negative secularism. But in both the cases, what is the similarity? The similarity is that the state does not identify itself with any religion, nor they discriminate on the basis of religion. But the difference is where there is a clear separation, but whereas in case of India, the state makes an intervention. That's basically what is called as the positive secularism. Can you just think of some examples where the state has made interventions in the matters of religion in the recent past? Very good. The state has brought in a law where it is trying to strike down what is called as instant triple talaq, not all forms of triple talaq. I think there are multiple forms of triple talaq within the Muslim personal laws. But one practice that has been made illegal among the practice of triple talaq is instant triple talaq. Does anyone know what is this instant triple talaq? Even I'm not knowing much about the personal laws, but based on the newspaper reports and all those things, what is this instant triple talaq? Instant triple talaq is a practice that the husband can say talaq, talaq, talaq 3 times, and the moment the husband says talaq the 3rd time, the divorce has been done between the husband and the wife. And some newspaper report I also found that sometimes the husband can do the SMS also, talaq 1st time, 2nd time talaq, 3rd time talaq. Or a telephonic conversation also they can say talaq. So 3rd time talaq means, of course, the 1st time talaq means warning, high level of warning 2nd time, and then the 3rd time the divorce is done. So this was not approved by the law. So the law has struck down these things, which is basically a religious matter and a religious affair. But positively the state has made an intervention. This is not only with regard to the Muslim personal laws, but in any law they can make an intervention. Recently now the government is trying to amend the Hindu Marriage Act also. They are trying to prevent what is called as the marriageable age of women. Do you know what is the marriageable age of women presently? 18 years, which they have wanted to bring it uniform to 21 years across all the religion. So that is also a positive intervention that they are trying to make. They are amending all the religious laws. A bill has been introduced. Whether it will become a law or not, that's a different thing. So the state can make positive intervention, because what is the marriage age of men? Article, what is the marriageable age of men? 21, and for women 18. So there was a petition that is seeking that amounts to what is called as principle of equality. So therefore, to bring in equality between the gender across religions, so they are now trying to increase the age of women also to 21 years. Anyways, so I'm just trying as to how the state can make interventions in the matters of religion. So that is why we call in India that it is positive secularism, whereas in case of the Western countries, it is negative secularism. Negative in the sense that they completely separate themselves. But whereas in India, the state can intervene in the matters of religion positively to bring in positive change. That is positive secularism. This is the essence of positive and negative secularism, but there are more to discuss, which I'll do when I take up the preamble topic. Okay.